Hello everyone, welcome to my channel BBTechHub. So in this CCNA series, right now I'm going through the OSI model, and in this OSI model I have covered application layer, presentation layer, session layer and transport layer. And today I'm here to discuss about the network layer. So this is the actually third layer of OSI model. Okay, and it is a very important layer. In this third layer of OSI model, in this layer, the name of the data is changed. I told you there is a concept of PDU. What happens actually in every layer, the data format is changing, what we are called as PDU. The moment data entered to the transport layer, we are calling it as a segment. And from the transport layer, the moment it is entering to the network layer, we call it as a packet. So everybody remember, whenever I will talk about packet, so in the back of the mind, you must think that I'm talking about the network layer data structure. Is it clear? If it is segment, that means it is the transport layer. If we call about packet, means we are dealing with the network layer. And in the OSI, remember, this is the third layer. So what happens? I'm telling you, at the sending end, what happens? The network layer is receiving the data from the transport layer. Is it? Now the network layer will adding its own header and it will pass that data packet to the data link layer. Am I clear? And at the receiving end, what happened? The data link layer, what the data link layer will do? Data link layer send the data to the network layer. That means network layer is receiving the data from the data link layer. It will remove the header and pass the data to the transport layer. Clear? So sending end, network layer is getting the data from the transport layer, adding the here, pass to the data link layer. And at the receiving end, what happens? Network layer is getting the data from the data link layer, removing the or detaching the header and pass it to the transport layer. Now, this layer is responsible for establishing the communication between the host belong to the different network. Am I clear? It's very important. In the world, what happens in the IP address? In the networking series, I told about IP address. In the IP address, I also told our network means we think it is one NID, network ID. Is it? So in the world, this is the internet. What we are call it is internet. Technically, it is nothing but the collection of several network IDs, network addresses. Is it? And whenever the host belong to different networks and they want to communicate with each other, at that moment, we have to establish the communication between those hosts by using a device that calls the router. So we call router is a layer 3 device. If there is no router, so no communication in the world. So for your kind information, everybody be careful. Router is the device for which we people are able to access the facilities of internet in the world. This is a boon for us, that is the router. And this router is working in layer 3, and that is why network layer is so important in networking technologies. So we will say what are the prime responsibilities of network layer. In the network layer is responsible for logical addressing, routing, internetworking, congestion control, layer 3 security and many more. So when we will go for that original routing topic, then you can understand. Now, what is logical addressing? In this layer, what happens, my dear? Every device need an IP address. The moment I add the IP address to the host, what happened? It will be recognized in a network as a unique identity so that communication becomes easy. No IP address, no identification of the device. And it is logical. Why? Because network to network IP address changes. Clear? Now, routing, that is the foremost thing we should know, and this is really, truly, it's a nice topic, my dear. Routing means what? The router is working over here to establish the communication. So how router finding the path, selecting the path, forwarding the data packets, network to network, traveling from one host to another host, and ultimately reach to the destination, deliver the packet. Whole process comes under the routing. Okay, and we will learn this routing in the separate topic of routing. Fine. So who is responsible for routing? Router is responsible for routing. Router is which layer device? Router is a layer 3 device. Which addressing scheme router is using? Router is using IP address to identify the host in a network. Now, internetworking. What is internetwork? So, in this networking industry, two words very important, my dear. One is inter, another is intra. Inter means between different, and intra means within one. If you want to establish the communication between the host belong to different network, suppose my host belong to 10 network, want to communicate with the host belong to 11 network, at that moment who will come in the picture? That is router, and this is called internetworking. Connectivity between the different network is called as internetworking. What is internetworking? That is within one. If I want to establish the communication between the host belong to the same network, we call it as a intra communication. Am I clear? So you see, this layer is responsible internetworking. Internetworking is process of connecting more than one network. That means the network which are having different network addresses. Is it clear? And what is this example? That is your internet. Okay. Now, next is congestion control. What is congestion? Actually, every network path has a certain capacity to handle the data, certain capacity to transfer the data. Suppose a road, okay, suppose a road, maybe through this road, what happens? Two car and one bus can go, and all of a sudden several vehicles enter to the road. What will happen? Traffic jam. In the networking, we are calling it as a congestion. Now, here is the question. When there is a traffic issue, you can see there are traffic guards are coming and they are standing over there. They are managing the traffic. They are clearing the path. Same way in the network, when there is huge traffic, so who is managing this traffic? Router is managing traffic. So what is congestion control? When the capacity of the link is overflow with the traffic, that means the traffic is over, that is the capacity of the link, that moment congestion creates, and this congestion stops the communication. The moment communication stops, the performance of the network degrades. Who is taking care? Router, one and only router. Router will come in picture and it will manage the traffic so that the network communication will be smooth and the performance will be intact. Am I clear? And next is last function is security. How could I explain this security, my A? Because in this layer 3, we can configure a router as a firewall. Our router can work as firewall. Is it clear? And you know, I think if you don't know also, remember firewall is a concept, security concept. It's a security measure which protects our network, is it, from unauthorized access. Why I told you it is a concept? Because I can implement a firewall in different way. It may be hardware firewall, it is maybe application based, it may be OS based. That's why it is a security measure taken to protect our network from unauthorized access. So a Cisco router can be configured as a firewall to protect the network from the unauthorized access. That's why in this layer in network, the security is also one of the major functions. And is it clear for everyone? So these are the several functions which can be done at a layer 3 by router. Okay, so don't you think router is the mustard device? We people who are the CCNA people, we believe router is the mustard device. Gradually, more you know about the router, you can surprise how world's communication is going on. What is the infrastructure, how the infrastructure is laid down, how data is passing over the internet, how we are accessing the WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, these sites. Okay, so I think you people understood. If you are having any doubt about this network layer, you can put a query. Of course, I will give an answer. And in this layer, I'm not going in more details right now, because whatever the CCNA, this is about all these layers, that is network layer and data link layer. So everybody, in the next video, I'm meeting with you the data link layer, and thank you so much.